Have you ever stopped to think that your life is, in large part, shaped by what happens inside your mind? It may sound like a cliché, but it's true. The thoughts we choose to nurture can either lead us to success or keep us trapped in cycles of self-sabotage. The problem is that many times we live on autopilot, letting negative automatic thoughts take over our inner dialogue. What if I told you there's a simple, yet powerful way to reprogram your mind and create a new reality for yourself? The ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca already knew this over 2,000 years ago. They taught that the quality of our lives depends directly on the quality of our thoughts. Today, neuroscience confirms this. The brain doesn't distinguish between real and imagined thoughts. Both trigger emotional and physical responses. This means that by practicing visualization and repeating positive affirmations, you can train your mind to see opportunities where you once saw only limitations. Sounds like magic, but it's pure science. In this text, we'll explore practical steps that will help you take control of your personal transformation. From a 3-day challenge focused on self-discipline to techniques like meditation and mental reprogramming, I'll guide you step by step so you can apply these ideas to your daily life. By the end, you'll be ready to build a better version of yourself, more resilient, focused, and aligned with your goals. So, shall we get started? Have you ever thought about the power of small, consistent changes? Many times we believe that transforming our lives requires grand gestures or radical shifts, but the truth is that everything starts with small steps. That's why we're proposing a 3-day challenge focused on self-discipline and mental reprogramming. The goal is simple yet impactful. Use positive affirmations to shape your mindset and create a new reality for yourself. The first step is to choose 3 motivational phrases that reflect your personal goals. For example, something like, "I am capable of overcoming any challenge," or "I am building a life full of purpose." Repeat these affirmations in the morning, afternoon, and evening, always with full attention and conviction. Remember, it's not enough to just say them. You need to feel every word. As the Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, he taught, our thoughts shape our reality. If you want to change your life, you need to start by changing your mindset. Now you might be wondering, why only 3 days? The answer lies in the science behind habits. Studies show that small, consistent actions can create new neural connections quickly. By repeating your affirmations daily, you'll be training your brain to adopt a new narrative, one that's more aligned with success and resilience. Plus, this short period serves as proof that significant changes don't have to be complicated or time-consuming. But here's an important warning. Don't fall into the trap of doing this mechanically. For the affirmations to work, they need to be deeply felt. Imagine yourself living that reality while repeating the phrases. Visualize yourself overcoming obstacles, achieving goals, and building the life you desire. This exercise isn't just a practice of mental reprogramming, but also a way to train your focus and determination. It's like planting seeds that will bloom in the future. Finally, remember that this challenge is just the beginning. Many people give up on trying to change because they expect immediate results, but true transformation requires consistency. By the end of these 3 days, you'll likely already notice a difference in your mental state. But the real power lies in continuing the practice. And what if I told you there are even deeper ways to expand on this practice? This idea leads us directly to the next point, the role of total focus on thoughts. If you truly want to transform your life, it's essential to understand that total focus is the fuel for this journey. It's not enough to just repeat affirmations or try to adopt new habits if your mind is scattered or full of distractions. The key to effective personal transformation lies in directing all your attention to the thoughts you choose to nurture. As Epictetus used to say, it's not things that disturb us but our interpretation of them. And that interpretation can only be shaped when we are fully present. Have you ever stopped to pay attention to what you say to yourself throughout the day? This inner dialogue is far more powerful than we often realize, as it is the architect of our personal reality. Everything starts in the mind. The thoughts we choose to nurture shape our emotions, decisions, and consequently the results we achieve. If you're constantly criticizing yourself or convincing yourself that something is impossible, you're building a limited reality. But what if you could change that narrative? The ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius already understood this. They taught that it's not external events that define our lives but rather how we interpret them. For example, imagine you missed an important opportunity at work. Instead of thinking, "I'll never make it," try reframing that thought to something like, "This experience is preparing me for something even better." This simple shift can make all the difference in how you face challenges and create opportunities. Now think about how your life would be if you adopted a more positive and constructive inner dialogue. When you replace negative thoughts with empowering affirmations, you open doors to new possibilities. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm terrible at handling pressure," try affirming, "I'm learning to deal with challenges and becoming stronger every day." This practice not only boosts your self-confidence but also directly influences your behavior and consequently, your outcomes. But here's the catch. Inner dialogue doesn't change overnight. Often we're so used to thinking negatively that we don't even notice the impact. The good news is that with practice, it's possible to reprogram your mind. Start by observing your thoughts throughout the day. Whenever you notice something self-sabotaging, stop and replace it with a more positive phrase. Over time, this new way of thinking will become natural. Finally, remember that inner dialogue is a powerful tool, but it only works if used with intention. It's not enough to repeat nice words, you need to feel and believe in them. And what if I told you there's a fascinating scientific explanation for how all this happens in the brain? This discovery leads us directly to the next point. The science behind thoughts. Now that we've talked about the importance of inner dialogue, it's time to dive into the science that explains why it's so powerful. Did you know that the brain doesn't distinguish between real and imagined thoughts? This means that when you visualize a situation or repeat a positive affirmation, your brain responds as if it's actually happening. This discovery from neuroscience shows us that our thoughts have a direct impact on our emotions and even our physical body. Sounds incredible, doesn't it? Researchers have found that practicing guided imagery can prepare the brain to achieve goals in real life. For example, Olympic athletes often use this technique to improve their performance. They mentally rehearse every detail of a competition, from the moment they step onto the field to the feeling of crossing the finish line. This exercise creates new neural pathways that make executing those actions in the real world easier. The same principle can be applied to your personal life. By imagining your success, you're training your mind to make it possible. But here's an interesting point. Negative mental patterns also trigger emotional and physical responses. When you convince yourself that something will go wrong, your body reacts by releasing stress hormones like cortisol. This can leave you feeling anxious, tired, and even less productive. On the other hand, when you adopt a positive mindset, your brain releases dopamine and other neurotransmitters associated with well-being and motivation. It's as if your thoughts are programming your mental and physical state. Another fascinating aspect is that repeating thoughts strengthens neural pathways. The more you practice empowering affirmations or visualize scenarios of success, the more these mental patterns solidify. This explains why practices like meditation and mental reprogramming are so effective. They help replace limiting beliefs with constructive narratives, creating a solid foundation for success and resilience. It's no wonder that great leaders and thinkers like Seneca always emphasize the importance of taking care of the mind. Finally, remember that science confirms what the Stoics have been teaching for centuries. We are responsible for the quality of our thoughts. By understanding how the brain works, you gain more control over your reality. And what if I told you there are simple daily routines that can help you put all. If you truly want to transform your life, it's essential to create a daily mental routine that supports your goals. Just as we take care of our bodies with physical exercise and a balanced diet, our minds also need constant attention. A simple, yet powerful practice is starting the day with a morning meditation. This moment of silence and focus helps clear your mind, reduce stress, and prepare you to face the day with clarity and purpose. Try setting aside just 10 minutes for this. The impact can be surprising. During the afternoon, take advantage of moments like walks or work breaks to practice empowering affirmations. Repeating motivational phrases while moving not only reinforces your self-discipline, but also helps keep your focus on the goals you want to achieve. For example, as you walk, visualize yourself overcoming challenges and achieving small victories throughout the day. This combination of physical movement and positive thinking creates a powerful synergy, aligning body and mind toward success. At night, dedicate a few minutes to reflecting on your day. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? And what can I improve tomorrow? This practice not only helps consolidate lessons learned, but also promotes a sense of gratitude and progress. Additionally, it allows you to adjust your mindset before bed, ensuring you go to sleep with constructive thoughts. As Marcus Aurelius taught, it's not what happens to us that defines our lives, but how we choose to respond. Here's another practical example. Olympic athletes use mental routines to enhance their performance. They don't just train physically, they also practice guided imagery of their performances. You can apply the same principle in your daily life. Before a big event or challenge, imagine yourself executing each step with excellence. Feel the emotions associated with success and see how this boosts your confidence and preparation. This technique is a powerful way to program your mind for triumph. Finally, remember that consistency is more important than perfection. You don't need to adopt all these practices at once. Start with one or two that resonate most with you. Over time, they'll naturally become part of your routine, helping to shape a more resilient and focused mindset. And what if I told you there are even deeper ways to identify and overcome behavioral patterns that might be holding you back? This idea leads us directly to the next point: the relationship between self-sabotage and changing habits. Many times, without realizing it, we become our own biggest obstacles to progress. This is what's known as self-sabotage, a pattern of behavior that prevents us from achieving our goals, even when we're committed to them. The problem is that these negative habits often operate on autopilot, making them hard to identify. But here's the crucial point. By recognizing and questioning these patterns, you can begin to replace them with new, empowering narratives. One of the main signs of self-sabotage is the repetition of limiting beliefs, such as, "I'm not good," "enough," or "this will never work." These automatic thoughts are like little internal voices that convince us to give up before we even try. To combat this, start by observing your most critical behaviors. Whenever you notice a self-sabotaging attitude, pause and ask yourself, is this belief really true? Or how can I reframe this thought into something more positive? This simple exercise can help break harmful cycles. Another important aspect is understanding that changing habits requires patience and practice. Trying to transform your life overnight only leads to frustration. Instead, focus on small, consistent changes. For example, if you have a habit of procrastinating, try breaking your tasks into smaller steps and celebrate each milestone along the way. This creates a cycle of rewards that motivates you to keep moving forward. As Epictetus taught, it's not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. Here's a practical example. Imagine you want to adopt the habit of practicing meditation daily, but you always find excuses not to do it. Instead of pressuring yourself to meditate for hours perfectly, start with just 2 minutes a day. By making the task small and manageable, you reduce mental resistance and increase your chances of success. Over time, those 2 minutes can naturally expand, creating a sustainable and impactful routine. Finally, remember that changing habits isn't just about eliminating what doesn't work, it's also about cultivating what strengthens you. Replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations, creating consistent daily routines, and practicing self-discipline are fundamental steps on this journey. And what if I told you there are even deeper ways to apply these principles in everyday life? This idea leads us directly to the next point: how Stoicism can be used as a practical tool to improve your life. Stoicism isn't just an ancient philosophy, it's a practical tool that can transform your modern life. Philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca taught that the quality of our lives depends directly on the quality of our thoughts. They remind us that while we can't control everything that happens around us, we have full power over how we respond to those situations. This simple yet profound idea can be applied to practically any area of daily life. Imagine facing a stressful day at work. Instead of letting frustration or fear take over, you can use Stoic principles to stay calm and focused. For example, instead of thinking, "This is impossible," try reframing your thoughts to something like, "This situation is challenging, but I'll find a solution." This small mental adjustment helps reduce anxiety and increases your ability to handle adversity. As Seneca said, it's not the events that disturb us, but our opinion about them. Another fascinating aspect of Stoicism is the practice of gratitude and acceptance. Instead of fixating on what's outside your control, focus on what you can change. For instance, if something didn't go as planned, use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Ask yourself, what can this experience teach me? Or, how can I use this to improve in the future? This approach not only strengthens your resilience, but also creates a more positive and proactive mindset. Here's a practical tip. Try starting your day by reading a Stoic quote or reflecting on its teachings. For example, a famous phrase from Marcus Aurelius says, "Life is what your thoughts make it." Use this as a daily reminder to align your thoughts with your goals. Additionally, practice the reverse vision exercise, where you imagine losing something you value, like your health or freedom, to cultivate greater appreciation for what you have. This technique helps reinforce perspective and gratitude. Finally, remember that Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, but rather managing them consciously. By applying these principles in daily life, you'll be training your mind to be more resilient, focused, and aligned with success. And what if I told you there are even more specific ways to use these ideas to create an empowering mindset? This idea leads us directly to the next point: the importance of conscious mental programming. If you want to create a life more aligned with your dreams, it's essential to understand the power of conscious mental programming. Just as a computer needs software to function properly, our minds need programs that direct us toward success. The problem is that many times we allow negative or automatic thoughts to take control, limiting our potential. But here's the good news. You can reprogram your mind to focus on what truly matters. One of the most effective ways to do this is by training your mind with images of success and overcoming challenges. For example, before facing an important challenge, Visualize yourself overcoming it with confidence and excellence. Imagine every detail, from the environment around you to the emotions you'll feel upon achieving your goal. This practice not only boosts your self-confidence, but also prepares your brain to act in alignment with that vision. As Seneca taught, it's not because things are difficult that we don't dare. It's because we don't dare that they are difficult. But here's a crucial point. Empowering affirmations only work if they're felt and lived, not just repeated mechanically. When you say something like, "I am capable of achieving my goals," connect that phrase to genuine emotion. Feel the weight of those words and imagine yourself living that reality. This creates a deep connection between your conscious and unconscious mind, strengthening your belief in what's possible. It's like planting seeds of confidence that will grow over time. Another important aspect is consistency. Reprogramming your mind doesn't happen overnight. It's an ongoing process that requires dedication. Try creating small daily rituals, like writing down 3 things you're grateful for or visualizing a scene of success before bed. These simple practices help shape your mindset over time, creating a solid foundation for resilience and progress. Remember, small daily changes can lead to extraordinary results. Finally, remember that conscious mental programming is a powerful tool, but it depends entirely on you using it with intention. It's not enough to wish for change. You need to act deliberately to create it. By adopting practices like guided imagery, empowering affirmations, and constructive inner dialogue, you'll be taking control of your reality. And what if I told you there are even more ways to apply all of this to transform your life? We've reached the end of this journey, but I hope you've realized that transforming your life isn't an impossible task. In fact, it all starts with small daily choices. By adopting practices like empowering affirmations, guided imagery, and the teachings of Stoicism, you can reprogram your mind to see possibilities where you once saw only limitations. And the most amazing part? These tools are available to anyone willing to invest time and energy in themselves. Now it's time to reflect. What are you going to do starting today to take control of your personal transformation? Are you ready to question your automatic mental patterns and replace them with constructive narratives? Or maybe it's time to create a daily mental routine that supports your goals. Remember, success isn't a destination but a path built step by step, with focus, self-discipline, and plenty of resilience. If this content has inspired you to rethink how your beliefs and habits shape your reality, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to follow more content like this. Together, we can explore ways to apply these principles in daily life and create lives that are more meaningful and aligned with our dreams. So tell me, what's the first step you're going to take to transform your mind and consequently your life?